This is Chris Strickland sleeping in a car, a silver Cayenne, with Rusty's gun safe in a U-Haul in front of Julia Byse's house. It's now March 19th, 2026. We got a high school dropout at Julia Byse's house while they have a restraining order on me. They never leave their house. They never go anywhere. None of those. And Jean Malone, Susan Jean Laurie Dunn at this house, and Jean Malone at 2030. Susan Jean Laurie Dunn inside the house. And Lori Ann Matthews has the same middle name as Julia Ann Byse, filed this restraining order on me. And Judge John Schlegelmilch wrote my father a thank you letter for my father, William Francis Dunn III, whose gun safe is in a U-Haul, for being a juror on a murder trial at Schlegelmilch's court, the Third Judicial District Court in 2016. That's jury tampering. With great respect, you admired Rusty, William Francis Dunn, John Schlegelmilch. You need to repent from flattery, false imprisonment, and corrupt justice. Stop fishing. You have a skeleton at your judicial bench in front of a silver laptop. That's dishonorable practice to have a skeleton with a fishing rod. Are you going to gaslight that, Judge John, with honor? Sarcasm's terrible. Should not be practiced in the court of law. You need to repent. Stop enforcing injustice on the community of Yerington, Nevada. Pictures on YouTube of the gun safe being pushed out the back of sliding glass. If I get Schlegelmilch to continue to gaslight. With great respect. William F. Dunn, they initialize the name, they don't put in the full name. But when you fill out a contact form, they ask for a full name. The Seminole County Sheriff's full name. Donald John Trump Justice Complex is where Judge John Schlegelmilch operates out of. With false justice and great respect, you need to repent from being biased, because Judge Camille Vecchiarelli recused this case out of bias.
Complete my joy by being of the same.
They said that I called them faggots across the street and yelled that I kicked their ass, and I didn't. Two huge lies. And then I was told by a bunch of sheriff deputies that they're allowed to yell at me whenever they want for their protection. But then Sheriff Lee finally tells us, Deputy Lee tells us, that they're not allowed to yell at us. And that was back in mid-February 2026.
Here in Romans chapter 12 and verse 10.
I typed a stupid thread on Facebook over a year later. Steve Burns didn't want to charge me initially when they arrested me in June 2025, but then they arrested me in August. And a Class C felony. Samantha Edmondo went to St. Mary's Law School. That's church and state.
Next week we'll look at this. Therefore, let us not pass judgment on one another any longer, but rather decide never to put a stumbling block or hindrance in the way of a brother. Romans 15:5. May the God of endurance and encouragement.
Are you related in some way to Edmund Rothschild, Nathan Rothschild, Samantha?
Therefore, welcome one another as Christ has welcomed you.
You're smiling with a devious smile in front of the judge's bench, wearing all red, scarlet, right in the beast in Revelation 17. You need to repent. Pope Leo XIV controls America, the American Pope from Chicago, Illinois. There you went to St. Mary's. You need to repent from inflicting church and state corruption in the court of law.